All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are taking on the Red Bluff Outlaws in Red Bluff, California in my beautiful red and black factory QRC number 18T Outlaw Kart. We arrived at the track and let's just say the weather was less than ideal. I'm on my phone. You can tell how hard it's raining because listen to what it sounds like on the building. That's how hard it's coming down right now in Northern California. That's how our day is. Yeah. Beautiful weather today, guys, here in Northern California. The races start pretty early in the morning here, so we kind of let things calm down. Finally, the rain slowed a little bit. We got our race cars all fired up, and we were about ready to take on the entire night. We're just about getting ready to roll today, trying to stay dry here at the Red Bluff Outlaws. Officially our final race of 2024, looking to end things on a high note and really just put together the best night that we can. Some of the younger kids are getting rolling now, and then we'll be firing up in just a little bit, heading straight out to qualify. We drew the number 18 pill tonight, so I was hoping that was some good luck for the rest of the show. Went out early in qualifying, we got 35 opens, and with the rain and the precipitation outside and all the moisture, the racetrack I think is just going to be a little sloppy here early in the night, but I do think it's going to burn off. Looking at it before, before cars went out there dragging, water and stuff from the outside, it really wasn't that wet. It's just right now it's sloppy as we're getting going. So a little greasy early on, but we still ran a good lap in 8.8, which is, fairly fast in qualifying kind of compared to some of the times we ran all season. We were third after we went. I think right now we're currently sitting fourth, so we'll see how we shake up. Hopefully we can stay in the top 10. Overall, my car felt good. I thought I kind of maximized getting one of the best times I could for when I went out. Maybe you're just always leaving a little bit on the table, but I got through 3 and 4 good. The main thing was just to carry good speed to the center and really getting the car rotated to drive off. Exit of 3 and 4 and the exit of 1 and 2, if you get too far up the banking, even though there's the banking to kind of get you turned, it seems like that's where it's super wet and you just spin all the way down each straightaway. So if you can get the car rotated and turned, you can cut time off your lap, and that track, part of the track is ran in better. So on my best lap, I was able to do that. You just gotta, be as perfect as possible. But I'm gonna go up and watch, and we'll see where we end up. Little muddy today. So before we get any farther into the video, I want to tell you about the new Raceiver track lights. Now, you've heard me talk about the Raceiver brand several times here on the channel. We have a great partnership, and I always love seeing their new products. Well, recently at the PRI show, I got to see their new track lights system. Now, they have developed an all-in-one system that works with existing track lights you might already have, their own track lights that they offer. You have a race control board where you can control the lights directly from the tower, so it eliminates the flagman having to kind of do multiple jobs at once. And it also works directly with their in-car flagging system and other products. So basically with a few pushes of a button, it sends notifications everywhere and changes the lights. Now, as you know, in dirt racing, between dust, dirt, other cars, your visibility can be very limited. So I think this is a huge step in the right direction for keeping drivers safe and eliminating possibly crashes that didn't need to happen or were a domino effect from the pace changing out on the speedway. So make sure you check out Raceiver. I put a link at the top of the description specifically to this system for dirt tracks, but they also, of course, offer other products for drivers to use in the cockpit, and just always have appreciated their support and what they're doing to make motorsports better. So this right here kind of goes to show just how bipolar the weather is here in Northern California. It was like monsooning all morning, raining so hard you couldn't even walk around the pit area. Now the sun's out and everything's drying and we're going racing. And now with qualifying complete, we ended up 7th quick, and that's going to roll us off from the 2nd row inside starting position in the 2nd open heat race. You guys know the drill for Red Bluff. They only transfer the top 2 to the A main event. So we got to go from 3rd, and we got to at least pass 1 car. Sometimes that's difficult from the inside row just because you're kind of trap. At the same time though, when I talk about this building, sometimes holes just open up and things go your way. You have to just try to get the best start you can, get into turn one with some momentum, and try to let that momentum carry you and take you where you need to go to try to advance forward. So we're gonna work on our race car a little bit. I felt like though our qualifying laps were solid. The balance of the 18T feels good. Looking at the track, it's pretty smooth tonight too, which I really like. It's always just a little more difficult when it's rough and choppy. You got to be really careful about where you put your race car. Where tonight, I think it's just going to be a good, we got some fans rolling in behind us. Looks like we got a good lane to race in, and hopefully the bottom kind of does the same thing so we can go wherever we need to go. But anyway, we're going to be rolling into the heat race here soon. Intense heat race there for us. Started third and finished fourth. Kind of got shuffled around. You know, all of us were mixing it up for that final transfer spot. Initially, I got a good start from third. The leader took off well in the box, and then he kind of slid for the lead, and they were going at it. At the same time, I was kind of fighting to try to at least get into third to attack for second. And within a couple laps, I did slide and take the position for a second. I think from there, I just could have executed better. So I slid for second, then I got slid back down in 1 and 2, and I just needed to carry a little bit more speed because I knew that I could not make a mistake as I needed to kind of cross the crease and drive back by. Unfortunately though, I just got tight, you know, getting into the corner, and I was fighting being a little tight on entry the whole entire heat race. So if I could have carried a little more speed, maybe that would have helped me, help me rotate. And once you're snug, you kind of just get stuck on the right front and you can't get the car pointed where you want. And so you lose that momentum, and just from there, I kind of put myself in a bad position and then gave up the third spot, as I was kind of right behind second. Then I was behind 2 cars that I needed to pass. And for the rest of the heat race, we were all just, like I said, mixing it up. I kind of ran the bottom. At one point, we were almost 3 wide. Just wasn't able to get enough together to, get that final transfer spot. Now we're going to be moving to the B main event. What's unfortunate is I did have a good opportunity. It wasn't just like I kind of got shuffled around. I actually, at one point was in second. And if I could have played my cards better, maybe just got away from those guys, then I could have transferred, right into the A main event and started up front. But now we just have a little bit more work to do. So we'll keep working on the 18T. Like I mentioned, my main complaint is just being a little snug getting into the corner. So when you're racing around guys and you don't always have as much control of your speed getting in, then it's easy to get tight. And then it's almost like when the torque of these CR500s catches back up to the car as I'm getting back going straight, it almost wants to loop the car, kind of around, almost half spin, because, all that speed is catching up to you as you're finishing the corner. So not to get too technical on you guys, but I do think it's valid to break down the race sometimes and see like, hey, what would have changed the outcome? And then there's other times where you just got to pull a tear off and say, hey, that just was what it was, and move forward. Well, the cushion has got quite aggressive here in 3 and 4, almost more of like a parking curb. It's just built up in the center, not as much on entry. We won the B main event from the front row, got a chance to have those laps. The only thing is I didn't feel as sharp in that B main event with my race car. I just was bouncing really bad. I don't know, I just felt really balled up on corner entry, more down here in 3 and 4 than 1 and 2. And it's really not that uneven, it is a little bit, but you just wouldn't expect, I don't know, for my car how it kind of handled. So we're going to have to just continue working on it going into the A main event. We obviously are going to have to pass quite a few cars. We're going to be starting 11th, and it's tough in a B. You obviously don't want to do anything to jeopardize your transfer spot, leading the whole thing, but you wonder if maybe it would have been faster. I was kind of running around the crease. Would it have been faster just to pound the cushion, run the bottom? You just don't want to change up what you're doing for the cars around you and for yourself, because you're just kind of cruising when you're up front. But anyway, we have a much bigger job now ahead of us. The racetrack's going to change quite a bit. There's a lot of grip in the surface still moving a lot of material. This right here where I'm standing looks like it hasn't even been ran on. It obviously has, but that's how juiced up it still is. And the bottom's got grip, the top's got grip, there's a cushion. So racetrack's just really interesting right now, but they have the dashes to go and then the A main event. So we'll see how it changes in between now and then and just try to be on top of it. Well, I got my jacket on, been trying to stay warm in the cold here in Northern California before we get ready for 30 laps, which is now coming up next. Rolling off from 11th, we're starting in the back half of the field. It's important to just try to get a good start, see how things shake out the first couple of laps, and just focus on what my job is, which is really just to try to pick off as many guys early. The closer you get to the front, usually you get out of some of the chaos. Racetrack still has quite a bit of grip, but it is starting to go away. I feel like there's multiple groups though. Guys can work the bottom, guys are working right around the crease, and then I showed you that cushion. I wouldn't necessarily take it out of question. I think if you run up there and you carry good speed and you don't toss your nose, you don't get into it, you kind of just play right with it, you know, I think you can make that line work. I don't know, just kind of keep an open-minded about putting my race car wherever I have to, just to try to go forward. If there's an opening, if there's a hole, you know, trying to take advantage of it and put guys back, you know, earlier on in the race, you know, sooner rather than later. But we're gonna go strap in, final race of 2024, just try to do all we can to bring home a good result, work towards the top 5, then the podium, and if we have an opportunity to win the race, to jump on it. Well, I could not show you guys how this cushion ended up finishing the night here. Look at this. Camera isn't even gonna do this justice. All the way through the corner, honestly, built up even on entry. Pretty nuts. I mean, that's like a sprint car cushion. You know, I mean, I'm sitting on it right here. Pretty wild. Like I said, you don't see that every single day at an outlaw kart race. Now, I need to watch back. I don't think a lot of guys were able to use it fully. Like, you weren't entering on the cushion and driving all the way through. I think it's just a little too uneven and rough. But it seemed like guys maybe were entering on it, turning down. A couple times I was able to kind of cut across and just catch it and kind of get some forward grip. But yeah, that cushion was very, very impressive. Like I said, not something you see every single day inside of the Pauline Davis Pavilion. Overall, one of probably our harder fought 11th to 7th finishes. We had 23 laps green at the beginning, which was cool. I'm all for green flag runs. It's just nice when you start a little closer to the front when that happens. For me, I started 11th, but I really started, I mean, like 13th or 14th. There was a car that dropped out. That's the car that started 10th dropped out, and I think the rule here is they don't re-crisscross. So, you know, basically the guys that finished behind me in the B main event got to start ahead of me, and then the outside obviously being the preferred position, like at the flag stand coming to the green, you know, I'm already 2 or 3 spots in the hole from 11th. There's only 5 cars behind me, and so and then going 23 laps green, not a chance to regroup. It's just tough. So we were just kind of fighting from the get-go, you know, realistically with just a yellow or 2 there, you know, past 7 or 8 cars legitimately. Not really a cushion down here, but you know, some grip on the top, and guys were kind of entering up and, like I said, kind of turning across it. I thought I actually had decent balance with my car, except I'm just bouncing really, really bad. So I don't know if there's something that I need to work on just doing different in the seat. I feel like maybe almost, I wonder if I'm driving the car a little too straight. I was talking with my teammate, you know, it's one thing when you're both feeling, you know, kind of both feeling similar stuff, but I think Landon and I, my teammate, I think he, you know, he just kind of has a different driving style than me, and he didn't really complain about the bouncing, but I also think he's almost wicking the car in the corner very, very hard, almost creating so much angle. It's like the right rear can cut through the racetrack, where me, I'm a little straight, so I don't know if just being a little snug, like I kind of complained about all night, I'm getting stuck on the right rear. When I'm around cars, it's just tough to race. So, and like I said, you know, it's not as much my style. You know, I'm more of, I feel like, kind of keep it straight, drive off, you know, keep my car underneath me, and maybe kind of with just the track conditions, how fast everyone is, like, you know, maybe creating that more angle on entry would really help me, just not to bounce, because like I said, I get in straight and then I just get stuck on the right front, and I'm almost trying to drive through it. So as we close out our final race of 2024, tonight's 7th place finish definitely did not come from a lack of effort. We tried really hard, and you know, if you could go back and change anything in the night, it would have just been simply that heat race. If we could have snuck in, started up front, that can make a world of a difference here, and we've talked about that all season long. More than anything though, I'm proud of Jimmy Elledge and our team. Like I talk about, you have to just keep fighting really, really hard. You know, right now the field in outlaw karts and the competition is very, very close and tight. There's a lot of guys that are going fast, and we've just been working on making our stuff better and better, and you know, it's hasn't been as much of a smooth sailing season as we would have liked, but that's just the grit that you have to hold, you know, to continue to try to chase where you want to be. And of course, we want to have the 18T in victory lane. So I can't thank Jimmy enough for continuing to work, and we're getting outside the box with our cars, trying to do anything we can. And as a driver, I'm pushing myself, you know, to do everything I can behind the wheel to try to guide that thing to victory lane, and we're just going to have to keep working on it. But that closes our final race of 2024, and we're turning the final page on this year. Now we're looking ahead at 2025, and as always, trying to make it the best year yet. So I'm excited. We have some fans to end this year. They're excited for 2025, so we're going to make it happen. But thanks to Factory QRC, thanks to Jimmy Elledge and our entire team. Deuces.